Those who are willing and able, please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Grant us, O Lord, light to our understanding, prudence in our investigating, foresight in our planning, sincerity in our deliberating, the grace to follow truth in our judgment. Help us to be moved in our decision neither by fear nor by self-interest, and to do our work faithfully. May we respect the authority vested in us, for thou art the source of all authority, and may use our directives for the common good, and for thy honor and glory. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all. All right, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Present.
Commissioner Regovich.
Here.
Commissioner Heimercheck.
Here. All right, we have before us the meeting minutes of the regular meetings of September 14, 2023, September 21, 2023, September 28, 2023, October 12, 2023, and October 17, 2023. Do I have a motion to approve same, waiving the reading thereof?
I'll make the motion.
Much as I'd love to hear those minutes read, second.
Thank you, sir. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Heimercheck.
Yes. All right, this brings us to our first public comment portion. I do believe we have a guest with us here, Dion Dimitro from United Way. Welcome. The floor is yours, ma'am.
Morning, Commissioners. I just wanted to take this opportunity.
Is your microphone on? That's okay. That's okay.
No.
There we go.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
He's in charge of IT now.
Legal counsel and tech. That's awesome. Morning, Commissioners. I want to take this opportunity to personally thank Commissioner Regovich, along with Ben Capel and Kristen Keene, for their leadership on our jail and bail event that took place on October 27th. While this was Ben's brainchild, and certainly he made the day a great success with his driving, I don't know if everybody knows that he's licensed to drive those buses. He was fantastic. Commissioner Regovich certainly helped to make sure that we had the participation that we needed. That included from the county David Schick from the Adams Board. We had Auditor Galloway. Then we also had Mayor Dennis Morley from Eastlake, who is our largest fundraiser overall. The township administrator, Andy Rose, and we had numerous school and business leaders as well. Our jail and bail event raised over $10,000, which is incredible for a first time out. It contributes towards our very ambitious goal of raising $1.8 million this year through our campaign. The reason our campaign is so ambitious this year, as everybody here is fully aware, about 30% of our citizens here in Lake County live at or below the ALICE threshold, which is the Access Limited Income Constrained, which are our friends and neighbors who are working every day but still finding it difficult to make ends meet. So that $10,000 makes sure that the services that hundreds of people receive every day take place. So the folks that were able to seek refuge at Forbes House last night, the people who stayed out of the cold at Project Hope, the folks who will receive a hot lunch at the Salvation Army today, is all with the assistance of dollars provided by United Way, which are entrusted by donors like you. So we certainly want to take the opportunity to say thank you, Commissioner, for all that you've done, and thank you for what you'll continue to do. So thanks.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. President.
Sir.
So it was a great event. We had great weather. Great idea. I want to thank Chief Izzo, too, joined us all day to do the actual arresting. And he wouldn't take extra money to put Dennis Morley on the ground and arrest him. So I asked. So.
The taser was enough now.
Yeah.
And I thank you for that reminder, not just Chief Deputy Izzo, but certainly the sheriff for allowing Chief Deputy Izzo to be a part of the day. He certainly added to the overall atmosphere.
I think we recruited him for next year already.
I tried to get commitments from everybody. So again, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. All right. And continuing on, again, first public comment portion. Anyone wishing to address the board at this time? All right. Moving on to our first agenda item, Madam Clerk.
In special resolutions, a resolution proclaiming November 2023 National Adoption Awareness Month in Lake County, Ohio.
Move to approve.
Second.
In discussion, we have with us Judge Bartolotta. And let's see, I'm going to try not to screw your name up. Eugene Tetrick.
T-Trick.
Tetrick.
Yes. you'll drink.
It's 7 years and I still can't get it right.
It's
Tea.
right.
But now I'm going to remember that. Tea.
Yes.
A sip of tea. But he always comes with a smile, and that's very important. Folks, the microphone, yours. Let's talk this up. I know we got JFS in this. Come on.
Right. Well, I did bring my special guest with me today. So, Mr. Tetrick is the supervisor of our substitute care unit at Job and Family Services, and he works very closely with our adoptive parents. And then probate court judge Mark Bardolata is also here today. He works very closely with the Department of Job and Family Services to finalize the adoptions of the children in our care. So I believe each of them wanted to say a few words today. Thank you for giving them this opportunity. Thank you for allowing Job and Family Services to highlight the importance of adoption and to proclaim November as Adoption Awareness Month. Thank you.
And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this was an example of the guy in charge versus the woman who knows what she's doing. So just want to get that out there. Thank you, ma'am. Great save. Tetrick.
Tetrick. Good morning, it's Commissioner Plechnik, Regovich, and Hammercheck. One of my favorite things to come over and chat you guys up. So I'm here to once again brag about Lake County and us recognizing November as National Adoption Month. I work with a group of wonderful foster and adoptive families over there at Lake County. And, most of my foster parents are duly licensed for adoption. So if for some reason, unfortunately, kids cannot be reunified with their birth families and whatnot, we have a group of wonderful families who will bring permanency to their lives. And I think we can all agree having that, stable foundation in our childhood, kind of helps lift us all up and get us to where we're going. So adoption serves many, many functions for our kids in care when reunification can't happen. And we're always so thankful for you guys for helping us get the word out and always supporting us in all of our adoption needs. It's tremendous. It gets the word out, it gets people to us, and it makes things happen. So thank you for all of that. And I will say, the Honorable Judge Bardolata would like to say a few words about what he does to help us recognize adoption here in Lake County. So, Judge.
Morning, Commissioners. Thanks for the invitation to appear today. It's always a pleasure to watch the board and see some old friends and catch up a little bit. As you know, this is National Adoption Month, and at the probate court for years, going far back as I can remember since I've been there, we've participated in Adoption Month by holding an Adoption Day. Typically, adoptions at probate court are not public record, or not open to the public. But Suzanne Kasar and Eugene find families for us that are agreeable to making their case something that can be viewable to the public. And we try to make kind of a big deal about it because it is important that there's awareness for the need for foster families. I think Charles Dickens called probate court the court of sorrows, and a lot of times that's true, except for Adoption Day. Adoption Day, it's definitely a day of joy in the court. And I can't say enough about JFS and what they do in finding foster parents, foster families for these kids that are in dire need and have nobody else. And somehow, year after year, case after case, they find families, they find people that are ready, willing, and able to take on the challenge of raising a child who's not necessarily theirs biologically. These children certainly become theirs realistically, and at the end of the day, making them part of a family. And it's a very moving to be a participant in that process. We get the good end of it. Across the street at juvenile court, when the parents, the biological parents, can't care for the kids anymore, and JFS gets custody, that's a tough day. That's a tough day for the kids. But when it comes to us at probate court, we get to unify them with the foster family that's going to be their family, their for real family, their family for life. And that can't be measured. I just want to emphasize the need for continuing to have foster families step forward, foster parents that are ready, willing, and able to take on these children and make homes for them, because it's a huge importance. It's a matter of huge importance. I'm glad that there is a National Awareness Day or National Awareness Month for adoptions, and that's why we are happy to participate every year in this. Missed a couple of COVID years, I suppose, but tomorrow is our adoption day this year at the court, and we've got family, a foster family that's ready to take in a young lady who deservedly needs a family. And so thank you for recognizing this great need. Thank you to JFS for helping us to unify a child with a family and make it more of a happy day at probate court. So I thank you. Thank you for your support. Dave, always nice to see you. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. Gentlemen, which one of you wants to do the reading voice this morning? Read this thing into the record.
Mr. President,
Sir.
I'll let Commissioner Regovich read the resolution, but say one word first. We're very grateful for the hard work of Lake County Job and Family Services, Eugene, Suzanne, the work you do first and foremost in connecting children with their families is building the future of Lake County. You're saving kids, but they're our future. So you're saving the future by doing what you do. And without a strong partnership with the probate court, your work wouldn't be possible. So we're all grateful that Judge Bartolotta makes this such a high priority for Lake County families. And it's an honor to participate in this small way by spreading awareness, because we want folks to know not only the gratitude we feel for foster and adoptive parents, but that the opportunity is there for them, should they so choose, to become one too. And that if they make that decision and want to walk that road, you're here to guide them on it. So thank you for being here, raising awareness and serving Lake County's children and families. Mr. Regovich?
Thank you. Personally, I like to say I've been have the pleasure to have good friends who were foster parents who adopted 3 kids, and those kids are in college, working, or finishing high school, and are very successful. So I would attend the Foster Parent Association dinners years ago without even knowing why. Just as I'm going for my friends, and to see the success that they've had and the happiness in their family. And my own brother had, I have a niece and a nephew who were adopted, and I don't ever look at them as adopted. I think it was a stigma at one time to say that you were adopted. I don't feel that anymore. It's near and dear to my heart. My niece and nephew are just as special as any other of my nieces and nephews to me. And it's good to see them thrive in a big family, in a loving environment, and have all the structure that they have. So this is a great thing to be happening. I'm glad to hear that people come out and share their story once a year, and to honor them this month is great. So with that being said, proclaiming November 2023 National Adoption Awareness Month in Lake County, Ohio. Whereas every child has an inherent right to grow up in a safe, permanent, loving family, and this experience lays the foundation for a happy and productive adulthood. And whereas November is a month dedicated to recognize the stories of youth in foster care who are in need of permanency. Children often enter into foster care due to background of abuse or neglect. While it's preferable for a child to reunite with their birth family, too often circumstances are not ideal. When a reunion with their parents is not possible, children need loving families where they can find security and stability, and adoptive parents can prove that very basic comfort each child deserves. And whereas a growing number of individuals and families in our communities are becoming adoptive parents, thus enabling children of all ages, races, and cultures, mental and physical conditions to become valued members of their families. And whereas these parents accept their reward, the opportunity to see children develop, grow, reach beyond the expected, and become a viable part of the community with stronger self-image. And whereas citizens should be encouraged to demonstrate their respect and gratitude for adopted parents who unselfishly share their lives. And whereas the Lake County Department of Job and Family Services works diligently to ensure safe and loving homes for Lake County children to increase the public awareness of the importance of adoption. Now, therefore be it resolved that the Board of Lake County Commissioners and hereby proclaim November 2023 Adoptive Awareness Month throughout Lake County, Ohio, and urge all of its citizens to recognize the valuable services of adoptive families in our community and focus the attention on recruiting the licensing of adoptive homes in order to give these children forever families.
Excellent, thank you. All right, if there's nothing further, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik,
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes, thank you. And you know the drill.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Madam Clerk, next item.
Resolution in support of Operation Greenlight for Veterans in Lake County, Ohio.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. I know, Jennifer, you've been the good soldier behind the scenes making all this happen, but I believe our recorder, Becky Lynch, is with us. Anything you want to add, ma'am? I know you've been a real push behind this for the last several years.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. Good morning. Thank you, Jennifer. You've been so helpful. Yes, as a member of the NACO, National Association of Counties Military and Veterans Services Committee for the last few years, they had launched this last year, and as our county participated, and John Wormeling from our Veteran Services Division also participates. So we have the iconic Cleveland Terminal Tower, the wonderful historic Lake County Courthouse clock. We also have now Lake Tran participating. Lake Tran is going to be lighting green their Wycliffe Park and Ride. And you can see that, as you know, from the State Route 2. And also the Clerk of Courts, Faith Andrews, is lighting her offices green. And so I'd like to just say thank you to everyone for participating in bringing awareness to our Veterans Care Services. Veterans Day is November 11th. So we are celebrating all of our veterans here in Lake County with Operation Greenlight. Thank you very much.
Well said. Thank you, ma'am. All right, gentlemen, anything to add?
Mr. President.
Sir.
I would just repeat your thanks to our clerk of the commission and to our county recorder for their hard work on this. I know that Recorder Lynch was very passionate about this project to recognize our veterans in a public way, and our clerk just jumped in. She's like, if we're not going to light all of Cleveland green, we're not doing our job. It was amazing to see what you were capable of accomplishing to recognize our veterans together, and we couldn't be more grateful.
Well said. Commissioner Regovich, anything to add, sir?
I just love to add, we can't support our veterans enough. It's truly less than the 1%ers. They're less than 1% of our population gives us our freedom and gives us what we have today. So we can't do enough to honor them and help them when in need. So this is a great thing, and this is a good way to say, hey, we're there for you, and to show the respect that they deserve.
Very good. Thank you. All right, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. I do believe we have. Am I correct? Yeah. Got it.
Madam Recorder, it's up to you.
Making me come up again.
They're getting your steps in. You know the rule. It's not official until.
Well, Jennifer has to be in this. I'm not
Exactly.
staying in this side.
You really can't
Oh, yes, you do.
overstate how impressive it is that Terminal Tower was
She's
included.
at the Terminal
That-
Tower green. We gotta have you in this picture. Oh, my. You make your face look.
Hold on, Jennifer. I know all these.
There you go. There you go.
I'll move over a little to this side.
You are.
We'll center.
Is this going to go in your precious moments category here?
I want this on a mural in the front of the courthouse. Thank you.
Thank you, Becky. This is for you.
Oh, it's great. Oh, thank you.
Summer's got that show.
Good job, Steve. Thank you
Summer,
so
you
much.
said not to
Thank you very much.
While you're doing the meeting, I'm on Facebook.
Jen is so hot.
I love nailing it nice.
That's paper on the last.
But guess what?
Save it. Yeah, that's good.
Oh, and how many years did it take to get you in front of the camera?
Yay!
She's always on camera.
Not happening. Don't go there. Delete, delete, delete. Got it. All right. Well, as always, save us, ma'am. Next.
In the Utilities Department, resolution increasing appropriations in Lake County Department of Utilities, Water, Sewer, and Solid Waste Funds.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations and transferring cash within Lake County Department of Utilities Sewer Fund and Project Fund 596, Project 456S 2021, Dodd Chimney Ridge Sunshine Acres Facilities Improvements.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations and transferring cash within Lake County Department of Utilities Sewer Fund and Project Fund 596, Twilight Lift Station Improvements 439S 2020.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution transferring appropriations, increasing appropriations, and transferring cash within Lake County Department of Utilities Solid Waste Project Fund 597 and Solid Waste Fund 520.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations and transferring cash within Lake County Department of Utilities Water Fund and Project Fund 595, Walnut Street Waterline Project 449W 2021.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing execution of an engineering agreement with CT Consultants Incorporated for the River Street Waterline Replacement Project for the Lake County Department of Utilities.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing the Lake County Sanitary Engineer to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement Program and to execute contracts as required for Vine Street Waterline Route 91 to Route 2 Phase 3 Project 467W 2023 in the city of Eastlake.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Randy, as the title implies, Phase 3.
Yeah, this is part of our 2024 capital, actually 2023 capital improvement plan that'll be constructed in 2024. We are hoping to get some OPWC money as part for this project to help out, partial grant, partial loan, and we'll hopefully be building this after July of next year. Or this will complete the entire length of Vine Street with the new water lines.
And there are loan funds available that have not been committed, so if there's an opportunity, I hate to say it, other people's money.
That's what we're hoping for, yes.
Got it. Okay. If there's nothing further, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution awarding a bid contract in the amount of $771,010 to Instituform Technologies LLC for Grace Court Trunk Sewer Rehabilitation Phase 3 Project 462S 2023.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Again, Randy, this one's kind of technical, but good use of dollars.
It is, about 4 years ago, we did a study, investigation of all of our large trunk sewers that go into our Mentor plant, the GLK water reclamation facility, to just determine the condition, and they're about 70 years old, some of them are approaching that, and so this project is the third and the last that was identified in that report that needed work. So this will extend the life of those sewers for ideally another 100 years.
And anytime we can cut back on inflow and infiltration and have a reliable infrastructure, saves us money at the actual plant.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. If there's nothing further, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution accepting a 3-year maintenance bond in the amount of $4,828.22 for Pinecrest Sanitary Sewer Extension Job Number 22-60 in Concord Township.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution certifying sanitary sewer improvement costs to the Lake County Auditor for parcel 14A 1735.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution approving the Lake County Department of Job and Family Services vouchers, date of warrant November 9, 2023, in the amount of $123,537.96.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
And the Commissioner's Office, resolution authorizing execution of a grant agreement with Energy Harbor for implementation of the Lake County Radiological Emergency Response Plan for the Perry Nuclear Power Plant and other general emergency preparedness activities conducted at the Emergency Operations Center on behalf of the Lake County Emergency Management Agency effective January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2025.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Jason, full background, please.
Good morning, Commissioners. Yeah, the resolution in front of you is a 2-year agreement with Energy Harbor. This is a biannual agreement that Joe Busher negotiates with the representatives of the Power of Energy Harbor. In short, this 2-year agreement, year 1 is $160,000, year 2 that we will receive. Year 2, $162,000 to help support training, planning, maintenance, administrative activities with emergency preparedness, emergency planning at the Perry plant, and this will be funneled through our Emergency Operations Center and Joe Busher's division. This project, I've been involved with these negotiations the past number of years. The grant agreement has also been sent to the County Prosecutor's Office and is ready for adoption.
Excellent. Thank you as always. All right, if there's nothing further, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing execution of agreements between the Lake County Board of Commissioners and various entities and organizations for the fiscal year 2023 year's Home Investment Partnership Program funds.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution appointing Michael Pijmo to the Lake Tran Board of Trustees to complete the remainder of a 3-year term expiring May 15, 2025.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Plechnik, you want to do the honors?
Mr. President, it's known to most of us that our Lake Tran trustee, our former councilwoman and friend Laura Pijmo, passed away recently from her battle with cancer, and Lake Tran was one of her great passions. It was a big honor to her and her family to be able to serve the community in the capacity of overseeing our transit agency for Lake County. But it wasn't just her passion. Her family cared deeply about Lake Tran as well. And Laura laughed about how Mike and she fought over which one of them would apply to be trustee. So when Laura passed, Mike stepped forward and said, I'd like to continue my wife's service because this meant so much to her. As hard as the situation is, it means a lot to him to be able to continue her work. And so I am grateful that their family has come forward to continue to serve Lake Tran. I know that the new headquarters and the renovation to the garage, which will principally benefit our Dial-A-Ride program, allowing seniors, allowing those who are disabled, and allowing anyone who needs transportation to get from point A to point B, even if they may not be able to drive themselves. That garage expansion is going to allow us to expand Dial-A-Ride by roughly 40%. So it's going to be a big difference for folks who are trying to schedule their trips, get to their doctor, go to their job, see their family. And Laura was a huge contributor to that project. Well, Mike will now be in a position to help see it through, and I'm honored to be able to support him. He's an executive with Sherwin-Williams, and he's a longtime customer of Lake Tran. He's personally passionate about public transit. When I spoke to Julie Schick about Mike, she said, "Oh, the guy who rides Lake Tran," because he's so well known as one of their passionate customers. So I want to thank the Pijmo family for their years of service to Lake Tran, their support of Lake Tran, and I think it's a wonderful thing that Mike is able to continue his wife Laura's work.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Finance Department, resolution increasing appropriations for various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution advancing and transferring cash and appropriations within various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution establishing a fund to be known as Healthy Aging Grant.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Mr. President,
Sir.
I think that we all have gratitude to Aaliyah and Lake County Senior Services for promptly applying for these funds from the state. This will give us the opportunity to support various different needs for our seniors in Lake County. I think 20% of the monies are earmarked to food assistance. Monies are earmarked to technology assistance and helping to increase computer literacy. This will be a major impact for our senior community, and we're going to treat it not unlike our community development block grants, but specifically for seniors. So we're grateful for this shot in the arm to our senior programs, and we're grateful to Aaliyah and Kristen Kane and all of Senior Services for being on the ball and bringing this money to Lake County.
Well said, and thank you for the shout out to Aaliyah. She doesn't get patted on the back nearly enough for all that she does. So I just want to echo that. And Commissioner Regovich, anything you want to answer?
I wholeheartedly agree.
Excellent, excellent. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution approving payment of a bill as listed on the Commissioner's Approval Journal in the amount of $261,250.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. All right, departmental reports, utilities.
No report today, Commissioner.
Thank you. Job and Family Services.
No report today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. County Administrator.
Good morning again, Commissioners. Just a brief update on the Public Safety Center process and where we are. We continue to meet weekly with HOK and all the sub-consultants that are involved in the schematic design. Matter of fact, the sheriff and his team are on a 2 to 3 hour call today, specifically focusing on the medical component of what the new safety center looks like, and that's the level of detail that we're getting down to. In addition, looking at some initial floor plans and manipulating, adjusting the size and locations of some of the offices that the sheriff needs. So we continue to hit all of our timelines. As I noted earlier this morning, the first schematic design estimate is due approximately November the 20th. That coincides quite nicely with our timeline of hopefully presenting a resolution to the commissioners to bring on our design builder. We're currently under negotiations right now on that initial fee. And then we'll continue to look at the finance strategy based on the numbers as they come in. But so far so good, thanks to the sheriff and his team. Right now the ball is quite frankly in their court because we're to the point we're on the inside of the building. Movement of inmates, movement of food, location of SWAT, location of all those details are now being ironed out, not only for the current building, but what it may look like, as Commissioner Hamercheck, is the future proof. What does it look like 50 years from now to make sure we have space to accommodate all those needs? So, thank you.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jason.
Madam Clerk.
Yes, I wanted to thank Recorder Lynch for her, work with the Veterans Day green lights. And also I wanted to mention that the terminal tower is going to be green on the 6th and the 12th next week. But on actual Veterans Day, it is going to be red, white, and blue. Somebody beat me to the punch on that. But it will be green on the 6th and the 12th. And also the next commissioners meeting is going to be next week, Thursday, November 9th at 10 a.m. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, ma'am. And legal.
No reports, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to our engineer. Ma'am.
Thank you, Commissioner. We continue to receive a lot of calls regarding Williams Road, Payne, Ford, and for those that don't know, we are with the Commissioner's financial assistance. We are still working on Williams Road. Great Lakes Construction was hired and they are working. A lot of times people don't see the traffic and the movement down there, so they think nothing's happening. But we're progressing and we are still on schedule to have that project complete by the end of this year. Payne Road is out to bid. It's being advertised currently. Bids will open next week on November 8th. By contract, that project is scheduled to be complete by September 6th of 2024. But that's not a set in stone. That's our, where we want that to go. Once we get a contractor on board, we'll get a better schedule and then we'll be able to share that with the public as well as the board.
Excellent. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Okay, anything else for an engineer? All right, moving on. So is there any old business coming for the board? Any old business?
Mr. President?
Sir.
I would just acknowledge this is an opportunity, given that I can see the back of his head, to thank our Lake County Auditor, Chris Galloway, for our 4-star audit, our Auditor of State Award. It's a pretty remarkable accomplishment. It's the first in his term, and I'd like to give him the opportunity, if he'd want, to come up and share a few words about his office's work with our budget director and department, as well as all the departments in Lake County, to demonstrate the highest level of transparency and care of the public funds. Thank you, Mr. Galloway.
That'll teach you to show
Come,
up.
please help us with Groundhog Day.
You escaped last time.
Yes,
It's
all by
not too
design.
late.
All by design.
If you just kept going, that would have been funny as all get out. Just so you
Well,
know.
I know. I came up here to talk a few business items with your administrator, and here I am now. I appreciate the kind words. Truly, when we succeed with an audit as a county, it is a team effort, and it is the auditor's office that spearheads that with the state, specifically Chief Deputy Pinnell. That is really one of her main tasks throughout the year. Just so folks know at home, the state auditor audits us about 10 months of the year. It's ongoing. They have an office in the building because of an entity of our size and the complexity of transactions, et cetera. They are constantly pretty much constantly auditing. And in fact, we're already in the process of sort of lining up, okay, what are we going to start putting together now in December to get ready to start it all over again. It's really important work. Like I said, it's a team effort, and I appreciate all our departments and offices when we call and ask for additional information or we need things. That I appreciate the responsiveness of everyone to help us collect that information, because we're tasked with spearheading it, but ultimately it is the financial and public record transactions of everybody in the county that is being looked at. So even though we spearhead it, every department has their responsibility with public records requests, making sure their financial transactions, the record keeping is done properly, all those types of things, reconciliation. So it is truly a team effort, and I thank everyone who works with us throughout the year to make sure that we can have all the records that we need. I know there are times when myself and my office can be annoying to staff because we want a little more information on an invoice, or we want some backup information of who was at a meeting, but that sort of thing is always done to cover ourselves, to make sure everything the state auditor may look for, we can provide. And that's how we get a 4-star rating. And so it truly is a team effort, and I thank everyone that's been involved in that on the financial side for working with my team to make that happen. So.
Thank you. By the way, did Jason get reimbursed yet?
On which one? Jason has learned the difficulties of needing additional paperwork on a receipt, right? And I know it can be annoying, but then it's like, there's a reason we do these things. And so, sometimes it's our job and my job to be the bad guy, and as you know, I wear it well, so.
Thank you, sir. All right, any other old business? All right, moving on to new business. Any new business? Any new business? All right, this brings us to our second public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board at this time? Anyone at all? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, gentlemen. After watching the antics of last week's meeting, what? Tammy Gaber, 6023 Ford Road. I think, yeah. After watching the antics of last week's meeting, I realize what is lacking here. There are a few in here that lack a sense of integrity. Oh, you can color the picture in your own mind and convince yourselves, but the bottom line is we see you for what you are. If others are paying attention, they see it too. I wonder if you ever go back and watch the tapes from these proceedings, and if you do, you might realize the double talk that has taken place. I have always been for the roads, and actually what was said is hell no, hard hell no. I will not vote to fix the roads. You've been told multiple times they cannot partially open the roads because it's a safety issue, an issue that has spinned with, I have always been for opening the roads partially, but you've been told that there's a weight limit issue because the roads are deteriorating. They can't open one lane of the bridge, and the emergency vehicles wouldn't be able to go through. By the way, did you know the average pickup truck or car weighs 2 to 4 tons, whereas the average fire truck weighs 20 tons? A fire tanker truck with a load of water weighs 31 tons. An ambulance weighs 7 tons. That would probably not do well on a road that I can stand up on the top, which I did recently, and notice this is deteriorating. The banks are caving in. The speech has been endlessly and ad nauseum that before we can fix the roads, we must have a plan in place and hold people accountable so the situation will never happen again. We cannot keep closing the roads to have them be an issue for repair. I've heard this rant multiple times as a stall tactic for just not voting to take the money to make the repair. Well, sir, that was in January, and that's been since January that we have been listening to this excuse and of why the money has not been voted on to set aside to fix the roads. In those 9 to 10 months, have anybody arranged to meet with the engineer's office to see how they can assist in putting a plan in place to make sure that this never happens again? Have you asked for any plan or program to be developed to make sure this never happens again? Maybe instead of hearing yourself talk, we could just have an honest, open dialogue with the engineer's office to try and work some things out so we could prevent this from happening again. I am exhausted, not necessarily of attending the meetings. For the most part, I find the inner workings and straightforward operations pretty interesting. I'm exhausted listening to the constant double talk and lack of respect for the lives of those of us on Ford Road. I grew up next to my grandfather. Like his children and we grandchildren, we were expected to be honest, to be straightforward, to be frugal, to be kind, and have respect for everyone, especially our elders. He taught us that without integrity, we have nothing, and we are nothing. After watching last week's meeting, it is abundantly clear to me that there are a couple people that have very little integrity when it comes to serving the people. Mr. Hamercheck asked for a good faith vote that would allow the money to be available immediately when the engineer is ready. Instead, he got lip service and what I call verbal vomit. I'm standing here today trying to hold my rage. I am reminding myself that my anger could not be overshadowed by my gratitude. You need to thank your lucky stars as well. My husband, who by the way is in really good shape and excellent physical condition, went for a follow-up a couple weeks ago and a routine exam. And thankfully it came out well because they discovered he had to have open heart surgery. His doctor saved his life. In a blink of an eye, from what he was away from needing those emergency services that we and the neighbors on Ford Road do not have. And you play around with this so cavalierly. And Mr. Plechnik, I sit here every week, and I pay attention to every word that goes on in this meeting and look people in the eye. And you sit here when people come up to this podium and talk about this and look down at your phone or whatever you're doing and don't look people in the eye. And it's disrespectful and unconscionable.
With respect, I think that violates our rules.
Okay.
That is disrespectful.
That's fine. I don't care right now.
And Mr. President, I do care, and I think there are a couple of factual points that need to be made, because I believe in integrity first and foremost. And to have a debate on a difficult issue, and clearly, Madame, you want a debate, we have to be factually correct. The problems in the engineer's office were brought to the commissioners in March. To restate and to try to rewrite history as though this happened in January would not be fair or accurate. I would also say that you have misattributed a quote to me, and the reason I look down at my phone is I think it's important to reestablish what that quote was.
Last week, and I heard you say it again today, Commissioner Plechnik, and I'll quote you. You said, "I will never support a tax increase under any circumstances. I am a hard no, hell no, never. I'm not voting to raise taxes ever." I kind of applaud that. That takes a lot of,
I did not say hell no to a road. I said hell no to raising taxes. And I recognize that if we do not do our job, if we are not good custodians of the public money, that is where the story always ends. And so, yes, we do have to have a plan to make sure what happened to your community happens to no one else. I understand that I care more about my road and you care more about your road than anybody else's. It's human nature. I do appreciate that, and I don't fault you for it. But it would be wrong for the commissioners to not be concerned with all of the roads. That doesn't mean we're unconcerned with yours, but yes, we are concerned with everyone's road. And for the record, Mr. Regovich has met with the engineer's office over and over and over. He even had preliminary agreement to solve these issues, which was later retracted. So in good faith, the commissioner's office have been reaching out. And by the way, all the commissioners cannot responsibly meet at the same time because that would be a public meeting. So yes, we sent a designee to do it. And we have worked in good faith. And do we have a plan for the long term? Why do you think we've called for a performance audit of the engineer's office? It's not retaliation or vindictiveness. An audit is a good thing. We're proud of the fact that Lake County has just received a 4-star Ohio Auditor of State Award because of the good work that we do. And we constantly work to improve. That's part of that, because we don't want to be in a position where this happens again. You can impugn the integrity of me, the commissioners, the county as much as you want, but at the end of the day, please be accurate, stick to the facts, and be respectful as you do so, because it is not going to help the public, it's not going to help our community to be divisive and to personally attack one another. I won't participate in that.
And if I may, ma'am?
You may.
Just to keep the timeline 100% accurate and full candor, I have to believe what is being referred to here regarding January has to do with the road and bridge reports. So I want to be abundantly clear on that. Let's not conflate, confuse, muddy the waters. March was when we were having our budget hearings. If I'm keeping my, I'm going to yield to you on that because I don't have benefit of the calendar in front of me. But when our engineer found that the additional monies that he was hoping would come through did not, he brought it to this board's attention. But the road and bridge reports are an annual state mandated documents that have been before us. So I believe that was what is being referred to. You know, I will give professional courtesy to the public for not having all these perfect little titles in front of them. And I will let Trustee Gauntner defend himself on the context of the quote and the playing back of that recording. So, ma'am, I yield
No,
the floor
that's
back
fine.
to you, but
That's
I thought
fine. Yep, and that is fine. I will dispute some of the things you say. I won't do it right here and right now, but I dispute those too. I understand that there was a conversation about an agreement, but then Mr. Hackman said he could not accept that agreement. So that agreement was not really an agreement in place. It wasn't that the engineer's office didn't take it. The engineer's office couldn't take it. And I respect that Mr. Regovich has gone and talked to them, and I understand that everybody can't sit down and talk together. It has to be a public meeting. But the back and forth is driving us crazy. And I know that there has to be double look at this, look at that for costs and expenses. But a good faith question was brought to the table last week to set the money aside to get these roads open. And it's not just a matter of a road. If you know the roads down there, it's 3 roads, and 2 of them link together to trap people in place, and the third one's about ready to give. Everybody wants a road. I get it. But a lot of people can drive around a block and go around another way. There are people that cannot do that on Ford Road, and the safety services cannot do that on Ford Road. We depend on more than just Madison Township. We depend on Perry. We depend on Painesville. We depend on Leroy for the very survival that we have for our emergency services. If you can drive around a city block, that's one thing. You can't drive around a city block on Ford Road. It doesn't happen. It's 8 miles around to go around the closure. It's not around a block. So yes, we are passionate about what's going on out there. It's not just drive. If the other side of that park is closed, I can drive around the block. You can't do that where we are. So those safety services are our life and death out there. And this has just gone on way too long. And you have the option of approving the money to set aside so when the engineer's office is ready to move, they can move so that we can get safety back. And we're still going to have to wait 2 years till it's done. It's not an overnight thing, but if you can take 6 months or 2 months or 3 months off that time by voting the money, then that's responsible. My grandfather would say, You cannot wave your Slovenian heritage like a badge of honor when you do not have integrity and honor the people you profess to serve. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to address the board at this time? Ma'am.
Gilda Spencer, 5580 Ford Road, Madison. Okay, I have a question before I start. When you say that you need to go through the president to ask a question, through the through your chair, why? I mean, I don't understand. If I want to talk to Mr. Retlovich, so I was... I'm sorry. I recognize that I need to go through the chair. Correct?
By custom, we use Robert's Rules of Order. We have
Okay.
not adopted Robert's Rules of Order formally, but we use them by custom and practice. I'm looking over at legal in case I say something incorrectly. People have a habit of addressing or turning around and addressing the audience. By custom, you address the chair.
Okay.
This is public comment, not public inquiry, not public questioning, not public whatever else adjective you wish to apply. If you wish to address one of my colleagues and ask a question of them, that is a nice and polite way of giving them a heads up that a question may be coming their way. It is a courtesy. If they choose to respond, that is their choice. If they choose not to respond, that is their choice. And if it appears that there's going to be an attack, it is my obligation, as was pointed out a moment ago, to shut that attack down before it even begins. Hopefully that was a complete answer to your question.
Yes. Well, I tried to look it up, and I wasn't finding anything that I was real sure of the answer. So I'm just asking. So anyhow, I'll start. I'm going to remind you, gentlemen, of the things that I don't have out there. I don't have school bus service. And it doesn't look like they're going to get it. And you saw the snow. We got 7.2 inches of snow on Ford Road yesterday. So that puts the 4 families that I have, they have young children. Their oldest are in the elementary. The rest of them are young. The one in front of me is only a little over a year old. She's loading up all her kids in the morning to take them to school. It is closer and quicker to drive to the school than it is to the bus stop. And where our bus stop is, it's on West Loveland. There's no place to park. You park on the road. So you're a sitting duck for any kind of, transportation that going up and down the road. So I don't have school bus service. And I also don't have police service. When we had an incident out there and I called the Madison Township, they didn't have a cruiser. So, okay, so they're not coming. So then I called the Sheriff's Department and they told me they don't come out because we're a Madison Township and we have a police service. So they wouldn't come out. Now I'm sure if it was a murder, somebody would show up, but it's not. And we were stuck there for over 3 hours. We could not get off the road. And my husband has home health care aid, and she was to leave to go to another veteran, and she couldn't. She sat there for 3 hours waiting for them to move that truck. One of the ladies that lives a couple houses up from me, her child was at preschool, and she couldn't get to him. The school had to sit there open until she got there 3 hours later to pick him up. So then when you get to my emergency service, we pay our taxes to Madison Township. For them to come down River Road to my house, it's quicker. So they try to go through Perry, or they try to go, and Perry is a full staffed organization just as Madison is. But then when you go to Leroy, they only have one full-time person, and then they wait for all the volunteers to get there before they go out. And then they would have to go down Leroy Center, then they go to Vrooman Road, then they go to all the way down to 84 and take 84 to Adams Road, take Adams Road to River Road to Blair, and once you get to Blair, then you go up to Ford. They go all that way. So then, if Leroy can come, if they can't, they will call Thompson. Thompson is all volunteer, and they all don't live 5 minutes away from the fire department. So they would have to come. They would come down 528 to Mosley. They would take Mosley to Trask. They would take Trask to Ford, and then up to my house. Well, that's Thompson, Leroy, Madison. If you go the other way, it's Madison, Perry, Leroy, Madison to get to me. So that's our dilemma there with services. We also have a children's home on that road, or an adult home that are very disabled. And they do have to come out periodically to help. So that's the other thing. So those are my real main concerns. And so I just want you to know that there's things out there we don't have that everybody else has. And I understand the thing with the engineer and all that stuff. I get all that. But it's too long. I mean, we're looking at least, once you finally decide to move the money, we're looking at least a year. And so we're already closed over a year now. So we're looking at 2 to 3 years by the time all this gets settled. And, you know, and I understand you don't go into rumors and that, but there are so many rumors flying about why you're not approving the money. And I guess that's really hard for me because I don't look at this as a political issue, but that's what I'm hearing. And maybe you guys don't care about re-election or whatever else is coming up, because I also checked into, you can't be recalled. You're one of the groups that can't be recalled. So, but you have re-elections coming. And you don't think this won't become front and center on Facebook and all that other stuff? Because it will. So, but anyhow, now here's my thing. I would like to ask Commissioner Rutledge a question. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I have never heard from you why you have not voted to open the road, and I would like to hear that.
I don't open roads.
Okay, but I understand that, but you're in a position.
And I don't believe if I put $50 million tomorrow, that would make it any quicker.
Okay.
I'm looking for an alternative route to funding. We have a lot of other things for funding at the same time, and I've committed to funding as they came up, and we've proven that with the other 2 roads. Now, those are all dictated by the engineer's office, what road gets done first, what road gets done second.
I don't have a problem with that.
And so I fully anticipate once we get all our answers and what we need to get in place. For Blair Road, I think we had a full schedule of what the payments were, what they went for, and the true cost of the road.
Okay, so this is what I'm trying to understand then. If we're waiting on the engineer's office, but they're at a point where they need to know that the money is there for them to move forward, why aren't we doing that? Or am I misunderstanding?
I don't believe the engineer's office is not working on it right now. I believe they're doing the engineering and they're moving forward with all that work as they were doing with the other projects.
Okay.
As I assume they're doing with Blair Road now too.
I can say before this meeting, I spoke with Engineer Jim Gills, who is currently in Columbus in meetings. As soon as he's completed with that, he'll be meeting with the engineering company that is doing, I believe, the Ford Road project. I'm just looking over to you, Madam Engineer. I can tell you that is within an hour of being current, but ma'am?
That's correct. He's meeting with Richland Engineering, is the consulting firm that's been hired to do the final design for Ford Road.
Okay.
And so his plan is to meet with them after his meetings in Columbus on his way back home, and to try to see if there's some ideas, some options to speed up the timeline so that we could maybe in some different phases start to get things moving a little bit quicker.
Okay.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Chase, but you've been working on this for quite some time.
They've been working, part of the requirement of this because of the size of Ford. I know we go back and forth on that reference of culvert and bridge and what's legally a bridge or a culvert, but there were requirements to do type studies, meaning that we had to have a consultant look at it and see what was the best option, see what was feasible, and that's one of our requirements to satisfy the state and federal requirements with a replacement that size. That work was completed, but the background on that was doing soil borings and survey. So there's a lot that goes into preparing that study and now the final plans that they're working on.
Okay, so am I understanding then that the money is there for you to continue doing that, or do you have to wait for the commissioners? Am I allowed to ask that?
Go for it.
Okay.
I can't unring the bell. You just,
I'm
you're
sorry.
fine. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's a fair question.
Yeah,
It's one that's been asked and answered previously.
Okay.
They are doing their best on internal funds. Again, there's various perspectives. And the biggest one that I keep emphasizing is certificate of fund availability. In order for this to go out for construction, in order for an interested party who's actually going to do the construction, they need to know that that money is there. You're going to get more responsible bids. You're going to get more interest if they know the money is there. I think that's the point that seems to keep getting missed. And forgive my frustration, and I appreciate you as a citizen are seeing this mishmash of language that keeps getting turned upside down like some sort of a snow globe. But the safety issue is not just unique to Ford Road. It is impacting the entire east side. I cannot let that go unanswered and unstated. We have a high concentration of assisted living facilities, rehab facilities, senior facilities in Madison in particular. There is a high demand on the Madison Fire District especially, but I can say with my own personal experience, my 97-year-old mother, when she had a medical emergency, we had to call in Perry because Madison was tied up because of all these blankety-blank delays. I'm trying to be Christian and cleaning this up, but this has actually affected my family as well. And to your point about elections, I'm getting my butt kicked over it, and I'm the guy who's fighting to get it funded. So to your point, yeah, even the guy who's trying to get it done is getting clobbered. You watched it happen right here in a meeting, or I should say after a meeting. My frustration level is up here, and I appreciate you're making a good faith effort. I understand and I appreciate that you may not have all the minutia of exactly what the magic words are, but it really comes down to this is a global issue on the east side. This is affecting Madison Township, Madison Village. This is affecting North Perry Village, Perry Township, Leroy Township. This is going as far as out of Lake County into Thompson Township. You know, we are putting a tremendous drain on our safety forces. And those people are stretched hard as it is. And when they got to pick up the pace, we've already had one ambulance that was in an accident, and one of our safety forces is still suffering from that, and there was a fatality associated with that. So that was out of Geauga County.
Yeah.
So there is proof. This is not an exaggeration. When safety forces step it up and things go wrong, they go real wrong.
It affects, we went through in just our immediate area, 142 homes. Now they, in our surrounding area, but the big joke is out there, we live on an island because nobody can get to us. We can't get off, we can't get in. You call people, they can't do this. We laughed because when someone came out, they went one way and the other person went the other way. They followed their GPS. Well, their GPS got them lost and they ended up in Thompson instead of where we're at, because it doesn't work out there. We're in high elevations, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I guess my question to you gentlemen, and I understand what you're saying, but I would like to see a vote of something to move forward so that I have confidence in you. And maybe you don't care about my confidence, but someday you will. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Ragich, did you finish your thoughts there? I just didn't want to cut you off there.
I'd just like to say I'm available to a phone call, a meeting, if you want to one-on-one anytime.
Thank you.
Any further comments at this time? Anyone else wishing to address the board? Anyone else? All right, hearing and seeing none, this brings us to the conclusion of our meeting. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes, thank you for joining us today. This meeting stands adjourned.